Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christy Lynn, and today's video we're going to be discussing all of my pregnancy must-haves for the first trimester. So these are all the essentials, all the products, all of the things that I couldn't do without for the first trimester. I am currently pregnant with our first child, a baby girl who is due in January 2021. So I am right now 25 weeks along. And I figured this is a good time to go ahead and let you know what were my essentials for the first trimester in case you are pregnant, and I hope this is helpful for you. If you missed my first trimester recap video, I'll have that linked above for you right here as well as in the description below. And you can go ahead and check that out to know more about what the first trimester was like for me. If you enjoy pregnancy updates, lifestyle videos, simple living, I hope you'll get subscribed because I have lots of those types of videos on this channel as well as more to come. My husband and I are currently in the process of renovating our entire house before the baby gets here. I hope it's done by then. We only have just over 3 months left, but we bought this home. It's a fixer-upper. We decided to downsize into this home so that we could live on one income. So if you are interested in seeing our DIY remodeling, then I've got lots of videos for you on this channel as well. Anyways, enough of the intro. Let's go ahead and get started with all of my first trimester essentials. The first product I have to start off with is going to be Unisom. This is technically a sleeping pill, and my OBGYN specified it needed to be the tab kind, like not the gel kind. Don't get the gel kind. I've linked this and every product that I mentioned in the video in the description, so you can just click right on that if you want to try it. But Unisom is great for morning sickness, at least it was for me. I had pretty rough nausea. I didn't throw up a ton, but I always felt like I needed to throughout the majority, almost the whole thing of the first trimester. I guess starting around week 6, I got really sick, and around on week 8 at my ultrasound, my first ultrasound, my doctor told me about Unisom and highly recommended me trying it. I did, and within 24 hours, I was feeling 75% better. So whether or not it was just a coincidence and my symptoms had just peaked at that point and were going to get better anyways, or the Unisom worked, I don't know. But either way, I was too afraid to stop it because it seemed to make such a difference. So I kept at it until the second trimester came around and I was no longer feeling sick. So I highly recommend, if you are dealing with nausea, to try Unisom. The benefits are thought to outweigh any minor risks that there may be. I'm the kind of person that doesn't want to take anything, especially medication, during pregnancy, but I was desperate and I'm so glad that I did go ahead and take it. My next must-have item kind of goes without saying, but that is a very good prenatal vitamin. And I was taking a vitamin by this company called Seeking Health. It was a prenatal and it was really good and I loved it. But I took it every day in my smoothie. It was like a protein powder, and I would just dump that in my smoothie and that would be my breakfast every day, and it was great. I also had the pill form, but you had to take 8 of the pills. So smoothie, 8 pills. Yeah, I chose the smoothie. However, as soon as morning sickness came around, I could not stomach either the smoothie or the 8 pills. So unfortunately, I had to give that prenatal up. I felt really bad because it's such a good one. And I will link it below if you are curious. Maybe morning sickness is not bad for you and you're just looking for a good prenatal. It's also great to go ahead and take before you get pregnant. But yeah, for me, it was just asking too much. So I did have to switch. Now, the vitamin that I switched to, I tried a couple. I first switched to that Ritual vitamin. I don't know if you've heard about the Ritual prenatal. It's kind of all the craze right now. And I really wanted to like it, but I didn't. And the reason is it had a horrible aftertaste. And sometimes I would throw up and the aftertaste was just so strong and so bad. Like I just couldn't stomach it anymore. So I think I took it for about 2 to 3 months. And then finally I switched to this, which is by the brand Mega Food, and it's called Baby and Me Too. And this is what it looks like. And it's important to get the Baby and Me Too, at least for me, but I recommend it to everyone because the Baby and Me Too has the active form of folic acid in it. So if you don't know, folic acid is a synthetic vitamin. It's a synthetic form of the active folate. So what you really need is folate. Everyone says make sure you get your folic acid when you're pregnant or before becoming pregnant, because you know all the complications can happen if you don't. But what you really need is folate, and I much prefer to take the active natural form of it being folate, or the whole name is methylfolate. I'd much rather take that than folic acid, a synthetic. It's easier to absorb, but if you are like me, which you may or may not know about this, but I have a gene variation. It's called the MTHFR gene mutation. I actually have 2 copies of this mutation. Variation sounds a little nicer than mutation, but anyway, I have 1 copy from each parent, so I have a double whammy of it, and I have to be careful because if you have the MTHFR mutation too, which is actually quite common to have at least 1 variant of it, a lot of people have it and just don't know. So that's why I say it's safer to just go ahead and take natural folate, because if you have any form of this mutation, then your body has a lot of trouble absorbing folic acid, the synthetic version of folate. And why would you give your body something synthetic when you could just give it the real thing? That's how I feel. It is a little pricier, but it's worth it. It's for your health, for your baby's health, and all of that. But I don't want to go too long on MTHFR, but I will just briefly say that with MTHFR, it's so important that you're taking active folate. So in addition to my prenatal, I take this, which is by the brand Designs for Health, and it's called Homocysteine Supreme. And this has a pretty high dosage of folate. So I take combined probably 4,000 to 5,000 mcgs of folate, and that is absolutely crucial if you have the MTHFR mutation. So I avoid folic acid and I take folate. And so far I have not had any issues whatsoever. I've had my homocysteine levels tested. They are low, which is what you want. And I'm currently at no risk for clots based on that. So everything looks to be going just great and is working just fine. If I weren't taking these things, having this mutation, I might have to get those shots in my stomach every day. You may have heard of them. They're called, I think Lovenox is one brand that does it. And some women will have to get those shots in their stomach every day because they have clotting disorders or the MTHFR mutation. The next essential item, of course, is a good prenatal DHA. And I went with the brand Garden of Life. It's called Ocean's Mom Prenatal DHA. And I liked this brand because it didn't leave that icky aftertaste that so many fish oils kind of leave behind, and this I don't notice at all. So that's what I've been taking. Another item which I'll mention, which is not really a product, well I guess it is, but is ice water. I could not live without ice water, especially in my 2nd trimester. Oh my goodness, it has been so refreshing. I know that sounds weird, but I was always the kind of person who did not like ice water, and unless I was really hot or something, but normally I just had room temperature water or just water without ice because I'm a cold person normally. But because with the symptoms of pregnancy, I am a lot warmer now. So ice water is really, really good. And of course, it's important to drink a lot and hydrate yourself. It's important for your skin, for your body, for your developing baby, all of that. I try to drink at least 5 bottles of water a day. I say bottles because we currently don't have filtered water or our fridge hooked up yet. I mentioned renovations, right? So currently we've been having to buy bottled water for months and months now, and so yeah, I try to drink at least 5 of those. And literally for dinner I'll just bring like 2 bottles of water with me and drink them both because that's how much water I need at dinner. For some reason I just can't get enough water. The last product I'm going to mention is super crucial for me for the second trimester, but I started it in the first trimester. So that's why I'm going to mention it, because you can go ahead and get a head start on it. And that is some type of body butter, or belly butter, I should say. And the one that I love is Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula. And this is their tummy butter for stretch marks. It's like more of a balm. And it comes in a container like this. You can really get it anywhere. And that's just what it looks like. So it's more of a balm. It's not like a whip type cream. So if it's cold in your house, it's going to be really hard. So what I do is I literally just have to scoop it out with my fingers, and I like put it on my belly, and then it starts to melt, and then I can just rub it in. So it is more of an oil, or like I said, a balm. It's really like a balm. So don't let it scare you off that it's so hard. You just have to scoop it out and it'll melt in the warmth of your hands or your belly. And I use this religiously every single day. In the first trimester, I didn't start it until the end, and you honestly probably don't really need it until the second trimester. But I'm going to mention it now because I started using it religiously right at the end of the first trimester. The only thing I don't like about it is that it has a fragrance to it. That may not bother you. It actually smells really good, and I like the fragrance, but I have such a sensitive nose. I am allergic to so many scents. Like anything that's synthetic makes me sneeze. Like those Glade plugins or any sort of plugins make me sneeze. Any sort of cheaper perfumes, probably all perfumes, makes me sneeze and like have a runny nose all day long. Sinus stuff. It's not fun, but I have not found anything else like this. I have tried other creams and butters, and there's just nothing that compares to this, because this lasts all day. You could put it on twice a day if you wanted, and maybe in the winter months I will, but really, like, I put it on at night, and in the morning I still can feel my belly is fully moisturized. So I love that about it, and I'm willing to put up with some sneezes and sniffles. But I wish they had a fragrance-free version. So in your first trimester, you're usually not showing a whole lot, so I didn't really get any maternity clothes or anything like that, but I think towards the end of it I did get some maternity jeans, and I think I got some leggings. I believe I started wearing those around week 12 if I'm not mistaken, so right at the end. So I'll mention those in my second trimester essentials video because that's really when I started wearing them. But other than that, that pretty much wraps up this video. All of my first trimester must-have essentials. If you are pregnant or you've been pregnant, leave a comment below with your essentials or must-haves, something that I missed, because everybody's different and we all can learn from each other. So I'd love to know what was helpful for you during your first trimester. Like I mentioned, I did a recap of my first trimester, which I have linked below, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. And I have a whole pregnancy playlist linked below too, so if you want to catch yourself up, I've got that there for you to do some binge watching if you want. But other than that, I will see you in the next video. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!